Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what lessons have found. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is a place where we touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. We want to let you all know that we have trivia for the Wilds on December 15th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. You can get your tickets at bit.ly/thewildstrivia. We cannot wait to see you there.
We also want to remind you that we are releasing Patreon bonus episodes in season 6 now, and we just put out our last one last week. It is our 4th bonus episode. It was on Mulholland Drive, and you for sure are going to want to catch these episodes because we are just having a lot of fun with all of these things that we've been waiting to talk about. So you can get those if you join our Patreon at any level. You get access to those episodes. You can find that at bit.ly/lespatreon.
We also are coming up. Today is Should Have Been Gay 95. So we have 5 more till our 100th Should Have Been Gay episode.
Insane.
We have not picked a day yet, but we do know that either at the end of January or beginning of February, we'll be hosting a live episode with 2 of our favorite previous guests. Guess who they're going to be?
TBD.
And we will let you know as it comes, but we just want to get you excited and ready for that 100th episode virtual live extravaganza.
Oh, for sure. Keep your eyes out. We're going to have all the details as we get everything figured out. We'll be releasing everything.
In the Greater Les universe, the L Word Generation Q new season has come out. I know that a lot of Tibet fans are very happy with what's been going on.
And also sad.
And also upset because Jennifer Beals has announced that she's leaving to make room for other stories, which, like, I will say I'm a huge Bet fan, so that is really hurting my heart as well. So we are there with you. But I'm still enjoying the current season.
We also want to draw attention to, so Dove Cameron won a, I think, New Artist of the Year award at the AMAs this year. And 2 things. One, she gave a performance that was the gayest thing that I think I've ever seen. I mean, just like, she's basically just like chasing after this girl, like one of her dancers on stage, and she's being all like, you know, I could be a better boyfriend, and you're like, okay.
Sounds right.
It was great. But then she also actually gave a really, really nice speech when she did win her award. She like dedicated it to the Club Q, you know, everyone involved in the shooting, and talked about like queer community and how important everything is. And so I don't know. It was a really nice speech. I thought she did a really great job. That's all. We're here for Dove Cameron.
Also, another new show that just came out on Netflix, Wednesday. A lot of you have been asking for it for a Should Have Been Gay. I agree.
It's on our list. Don't worry.
It is high on the list. I really it's a great show. Acting is incredible. The storyline, it's so Tim Burton. And yeah, I'm really loving it, but also agree that it should be gayer. Let's go.
That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
We want to take a minute to tell you all about the Magic Mind Brain Booster. Consistently creating new content isn't easy. It requires energy, but also a lot of focus, and that can be a hard balance.
Too much energy, and you feel amped up and ready to bounce off the walls instead of feeling dialed in. And I'm someone who's never liked coffee, so sometimes it can be even harder to find something to give you that extra little bit of energy.
I feel you, Lee. Caffeine makes me absolutely crazed. It's not a good look for me. So that's why Magic Mind is so great. It's a way to get that extra boost without having to down a cup of coffee day after day.
Magic Mind is just a little matcha shot, which means it has less caffeine than a cup of coffee, but also contains a bunch of catechins that help extend the benefits of caffeine, as well as nootropics that help you stay more productive and focused.
They come in little individual servings, so they're convenient to grab on the go or to just have exactly the right amount on hand every morning.
I've been making little matcha lattes with them. I have one of those little like latte foam machine makers, and they're super easy. Just pour them right in there.
I love that. I need a latte foam machine maker. Give me one. Yeah, I've just been drinking the little shots, and it like I sit down and I'm like, all right, let's hang out music. Let's go. I'm in the zone. It's great.
I like to be fancier with mine.
Yeah, I appreciate that about you. If any of you are like me and you've been struggling with your energy and getting all your projects done, and we know we have lots of projects, without that looming crash, I definitely suggest trying out Magic Mind.
And we have a 20% off code that we can share with you all. It's LesHangout20. To use it, you can go to magicmind.co/LesHangout and enter the code LesHangout20 at checkout. And the best part is they have a money-back guarantee.
Plus, if you get the subscription, it's 40% off. Our code only lasts 10 days, so hurry up and head to magicmind.co/LesHangout and enter the code LesHangout20 to try out your Magic Mind matcha shots. Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 95th installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, clear your busy schedules. We're going to Belgravia and Montanaro. Meow.
Wow, that was amazing. You should star in your own Princess Switch film.
How do we make it happen? How do I get my
Only
own
Lee.
franchise? This is what I want to know.
I think Vanessa Hudgens is the producer, so like you just have to get enough money to produce it
Okay.
yourself, and then you're good.
We'll make it happen.
We'll
So
make it happen.
we are super excited tonight. A, to be diving into this trilogy. B, to have a very special guest joining us. We have Colette McIntyre, who is a comedian, writer, and creative living in Brooklyn, New York. She hosted the monthly variety show I Think We're Alone Now at the historic Stonewall Inn. And she's a Pisces sun, Aries moon, and Aries rising. And she once really freaked out Steve Harvey, but we hear that's a story for another time.
Incredible, Colette. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Oh my God, wow. I love that you read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I kind of thought some of the lines of the bio were just fun little asides for the two of you, some gossip, but all of it's right there.
Listen, I'm not going to pretend that we have never done some editing on the bios that we sent. We've received bios that I swear to God are like a full page long and like
right, a full Wikipedia article.
Yeah. I didn't. What was I going to cut out of this?
No, there's
It's too
nothing.
perfect.
It's too
Thank
good.
you.
I don't know if you know, you probably don't know this, but Lee and I are both Pisces suns.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
What
good
is
time
this?
tonight.
It's like gonna be a
Happening?
watery
I was gonna say, I
episode.
can't wait till we all start crying about Fiona's backstory and difficult childhood
Mhm.
and really empathizing with her.
Yep.
Wow, I can feel. Oh, I feel so safe in this space. Thank you.
Good.
You are welcome.
Let's.
Also, I didn't freak out Steve Harvey,
Mm.
but this is such a random story, but I was on the Rachel Ray show when Steve Harvey was on it.
What?
And it was such a crazy thing. Me and one of my friends in college pretended that we had a feud because it was the Family Feud episode. So we made up a fake feud to get on to the Rachel Ray episode and like tell our feud to Steve Harvey. And he totally
Wait.
slut shamed me on the episode.
Wait. Hold on. None of this mixes. The whole time was like Rachel Ray just like, I'm making a lasagna. Like the whole time you were talking about your fight.
Yes,
She was just
and, yes.
sauteing sausage.
And our whole fight was about me sexiling her. So it was like we're roommates and I keep sexiling her. And then of course like my mom's like, oh my God, you're on Rachel Ray. And like, this is the story.
And you're like, maybe don't watch
Yeah. And
that
I was like, it's
one.
not, I promise it's not real. But
Oh yeah, no. Stephen Harvey wouldn't like that. So Stephen, as I like to call him, has famously said that like he doesn't like to associate with like not people who like aren't godly, like not godly people. And so I'll speak it short. I know I said I wouldn't tell the story, but here I am.
Here we are.
I wrote for the Steve Harvey New Year's Eve special. And I was the only woman in the writer's room. Wow, big shock. And so I was essentially hired just to write for Maria Menounos. There are so many layers to this tale. But basically, there was a day he came in to meet everyone, and I didn't realize he was coming in. Not that I would have changed anything, but I was in my light goth days still. And so I was wearing like a dog collar and purple lipstick. I was like essentially like fully undercutted out, like big fucking homosexual in the house.
Sounds right.
And he went down this line of like gentle white men, all wearing like various ill-fitting button downs, and shook their hands. And then he reached me, flinched, like very visibly flinched, and would not shake my hand.
Oh my
Like clearly
God.
was like, Satan has brought a test to me once again, and I will pass. And so like kind of just looked at me, nodded, and walked away.
Yeah. That's
Nice.
from what I
Nice.
experienced, that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am so glad. Wow, there's so much we share. In
I
this
know.
space.
And it's only like 5 minutes in. Like
It's
we're gonna-
almost like a strange old man who keeps crossing continents
Whoa.
brought us all together.
Whoa.
Wink, wink.
What?
Okay, I say we plan a retreat and then we all switch lives for a day or two. We're gonna do this.
I'm here for
I
it.
think we could pull
we
it
all
off.
have exactly the same aesthetic as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, now listener,
Anyone would get us, all three of us, confused, I think.
yeah, listener, you can't see us, but we are like shockingly
It's
identical.
uncanny.
you logged in
uncanny.
and I was like, I'm looking in a mirror.
Yeah.
I'm demanding an ancestry. Is ancestry.com one of your sponsors?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna.
Sure.
I
Yes.
need to.
This is a
see.
surprise. At the end, we're gonna find we're all related.
Wow.
I'm so glad. Where am I? What's happening?
I'm
what
so
are we
happy
doing?
with how this episode
Well, we
has
are
started.
emotionally in Belgravia.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So anyone who has not picked up on this yet, we are doing not just the Princess Switch, we're doing the whole trilogy. We're doing the whole thing. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say that because listen, I'm not gonna lie that like we finished Princess Switch 3 and the first thing Kelsey and I, my wife and I immediately did is to Google like when is Princess Switch 4 like what's
Yes.
Is
what
it?
are we waiting for? I don't know. All we could find are articles from last year that were like, if it came out, it would be next November. And we're like, it's November now, Netflix. What are you doing to us?
Right. I
But-
mean, I gotta be honest, I pitched this movie to do just so I could have a platform to address the writers of the Princess Switch, because I think we are owed a fourth Vanessa Hudgens
Yes.
character. I think they need to stop being cowards. In the Princess Switch 3, they did not give us a new V Hudge, and I think she could do it. Like her range.
If we don't go full Orphan Black on this, like, what are we even doing? Like, what are we
Right.
doing?
It's like I feel betrayed. When I watched Princess Switch 3, I was honestly betrayed, aghast, devastated.
okay. That you're saying that there wasn't a new
that there wasn't
yeah.
a new
I was betrayed by something else that I also felt was just as egregious, and we can talk about it afterwards. But first,
a tease.
How straight it was? Is that?
oh well, I mean that just goes for all of them. Listen, before we get into it, for
right,
anyone
here we
who's
go.
not familiar with all three of the Princess Switch movies, I'm going to read. This is like Christmas for me. Not just one, not just two, but 3 IMDb synopses that I'm gonna read before we do our gay synopsis. Okay, so the IMDb synopsis for Princess Switch 1, the OG, the classic, is as follows. Competing in a Christmas baking competition in Belgravia, a Chicago baker bumps into the prince's fiancé, who looks just like her. They switch lives for 2 days. Concise,
Okay.
to the point.
Short and sweet. Yep.
Yeah, short, real sweet.
And the movie is just as honestly just as straightforward.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, they look exactly alike. No one is shocked or surprised,
No.
really.
Yeah.
And now we're just kissing each other's friends.
Yes,
Us
as you do,
fiancés.
as
Yep.
you do. The IMDb synopsis for The Princess Switch 2, switched again,
Thank you.
okay? When Duchess
Gotta have the
Margaret...
tagline.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
you have
upset.
to. You have to. When
We need
Duchess
what comes
Margaret
out there.
unexpectedly inherits the throne to Montanaro and hits a rough patch with Kevin, it's up to her double Stacy to save the day before a new lookalike, party girl Fiona, foils their plans.
Okay.
I feel like Stacey
Yep.
gets a little short shrift in this one.
I
but-
also feel like foils is like an understatement.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Girl snatches her.
Right. It's much more true crime than what they are setting us up for.
Like, oh, it was crazy. Like, no, she full on gets kidnapped
Okay.
in like the dingiest place.
Oh yeah, it's real bad. And then finally, the Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star. When a priceless relic is stolen, Queen Margaret and Princess Stacy enlist the help of Margaret's cousin Fiona, teams with a man from her past to retrieve it, with romance and resulting in a very unexpected switch. I swear to God, verbatim, I'm reading what's on IMDb, okay?
Happened.
It's
What happened?
someone had a stroke while writing this. Okay. I think if you can if you can, struggle bust your way through that, I think they got kind of the main gist of it. But
That third one?
It's a little hard to even figure out. Let's put it that way.
Understand.
Right.
Yeah.
If what you take away from the synopsis of the third one is just gobbledygook,
Yeah.
guess what, baby? That is the film.
You nailed it.
The film is like, they couldn't even come up with a third switch pun, which I feel like really says it all.
I think
Mhm.
Romancing the Star is a fun pun because you get there's the star, there's the Star of Peace. I feel like they're calling Fiona
Yeah, but
a
no
star.
one bucks
Yeah,
the
but-
star.
Yeah.
Well, listen. Who is the star of
Who's
your
the
heart in this
star?
movie?
Wow, I
think,
see. The
right?
star is a metaphor.
Yeah,
the
it's-
star of peace.
Netflix really going for it on this one.
It was a stretch.
It's a little bit of a
It was a
stretch.
stretch.
I'm still here for it. Listen, you know what's funny, Ellie? For how many movies I have come in here and just like ragged on, I'm obsessed. I'm totally sold on all 3 of these movies, and I don't even care about it. So yeah, I'll go to bat for you. Sure, Romancing the Star, here for it. You do it, Princess Switch 3. I'm ready. I'll go to bat for this. Why not?
You fully are. You really align with the auteurs behind
We're
the Princess Switch.
we're
Their
in
vision.
it. We're in it now. Like there's no going back, okay? So listen, those are our IMDb synopses. Question, we're doing like a one gay synopsis, or are we doing like individual
mine
gay
was
synopses?
overarching. Mine was an
Okay.
overarching gay synopsis of the Princess Switch
Okay, fair.
dynasty.
So
Yeah.
let's start with you, Colette. If you had to give like your gay synopsis as an
Okay.
alternative to these synopses for the Princess Switch trilogy, what would it be?
Okay. I don't know. So I've done my research accordingly, right? I
Mhm.
want you to know not only have I watched 6 hours of a Vanessa Hudgens rom-com back to back, I've also listened to some episodes of Should Have Been Gay.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
so-
You're ready.
so
You're coming in ready.
I
I
want
like
you to
it.
know
You're prepared.
I want you to know I'm ready to switch. Like I'm ready to tap in at any time. Should one of you
Do
be
it. I'm
like,
gonna go get some
"Ooh,
dinner. Like I
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're like,
If
I
one of
want
us
to
gets
live the life
kidnapped.
of a
Yeah.
yeah.
If one of us
Don't-
has to go on a snowman making date, like, last minute.
Yeah, if there's a Christmas village nearby that you desperately are like, I
In
need to
distress,
walk
yeah.
through
Mhm.
at least 12 times. Okay. But what I was gonna say is like, I'm not sure if most people's synopses come with this much preamble, but there are some things I want to address before
Okay.
I get into the meat of the matter.
I like it.
So when I was thinking the Princess Switch, for the show, for my suggestion, without a doubt, I came in with the idea that I wanted to see Vanessa Hudgens kissing Vanessa Hudgens.
Yes.
I wanted V Hudge on V Hudge action. Yes, no. See, your reaction is
Yes.
correct because I had forgotten that they're vaguely related.
Listen,
Right?
do you want me to tell you my gay synopsis first?
Okay, if you are doing the Hudge on Hudge,
Yeah.
then absolutely.
Okay, I swear to God, like
Hudge
this
on
is,
Hudge
this
on
is,
Hudge? Or
this is
just Hudge on Hudge?
prepared.
Hudge
This-
squared? Hudge cubed?
Yeah,
What are we
It's
doing?
Hudge-
not even, this is legit my gay synopsis that I came in prepared with for tonight. My gay synopsis for the Princess Switch trilogy
Yes.
is Netflix dares to ask how distantly related do cousins need to be before it's okay to ship them together. That's it.
Hell
That's my gay
yeah.
synopsis, okay?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's fine.
we're
It's fine.
doing-
Whatever you're coming out with next, Colette, you're fine.
No, I thought about it for so long. And I was like, they're not so related that it feels that. I mean, I'm like, gay twinning's a thing, but this feels like it really takes it to the next level. And like somehow them kissing would have felt more okay to me than like, you know, a classic like stepmother, I'm stuck under the bed, you know, like that kind of porn category, you know where I'm at. You know, there was like stepmom. Oh no, I'm in the sink. Okay, maybe we watch different things.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're starting off
Search Google's after episode.
so strong, so strong right now.
You know, sometimes you
Listeners,
reach the bottom.
Listen,
you reach the bottom of
Game
Pornhub,
of Thrones
and it just
has made
there's
a
no more.
whole thing out of incest being on primetime anyways. So like it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not bringing anything new. Yeah, don't judge me.
Like I feel like cousins at this point in the, you know, like
is pretty low
media,
on the incest.
yeah, like in the media zeitgeist right now, Cousins is tame. So it's
And if
fine.
you're cutting your great cousin off from dating, who are you dating? Belgravia is a very small town.
as far as we know,
It's
yeah.
left. Okay, but no. So I strayed away from Hudge on Hudge, and instead, I thought I am proposing that Kevin, Stacy's best male friend, is already a lesbian in this film.
Mhm.
Now, okay, like single dads, I think that's as close as a straight cis man could get to being a lesbian. You know what I mean? It's like a regular dad, and dads already do lesbian stuff, right? Like go to Home Depot, wear a lot of flannel. But this is a dad that's been through trauma, right? And so he's a little tender. It's like you take a regular dad, cook him past al dente. Now he's a little soft. That's a lesbian.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this like the spaghetti is straight until it's wet kind of thing going? Yeah, okay. Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
I am
Dad is straight
arguing that
until
dads
dad
are
is lesbian.
spaghetti until dad is wet and until dad loses wife and then dad is lesbian.
Listen,
That is my argument.
I feel like the ending of the second movie gives us a real strong argument on the Kevin being a lesbian front. Yes,
Exactly.
I'm here with you.
Ah,
I'm right here.
Lee,
with
you are like literally Kevin at some point says like you can never have too many cats. I'm like, well, that's cultural appropriation. Whoever wrote this film, that's
far.
offensive.
I'm sorry,
My
Kevin.
culture's not a
Kevin, who
costume.
says that while wearing like sweatpants and a hoodie. Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
sir.
He
Excuse you.
proposes in the same breath that then he gets married. He agrees to go long distance with someone he met 2 days ago.
Yeah.
This is a lesbian.
Yeah.
Straight up
Okay.
lesbian.
So I'm taking too much time.
Hit
So
us.
Okay. Set to enter a marriage of convenience with the crown prince of Belgravia, Lady Margaret bumps into Chicago baker Stacy, who looks just like the Duchess. They switch lives, and Lady Margaret meets Kay, Stacy's best friend. Lady Margaret soon discovers that when love is involved, sometimes even a commoner can become king of the castle. The castle, in this case, being the Duchess's vagina.
Wow. That
Right.
was
Wow.
impeccable.
Great.
So
And
Kevin
we're-
is now Kay.
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't catch on.
I like
I love
it.
it. Love it. All right, so it's my turn because Lee, you already did yours.
Yeah, do hit us, Ellie.
Okay, so for me, this is just like overarching. Same thing. I didn't really go Hudge on Hudge, but just every Hudge is gay. So a gay
Just
baker,
me? How is it just
gay
me?
royalty, and the gay chaos demon cousin are constantly switching lives to escape heteronormativity, familial expectations, and community service. That's it.
So true.
Oh yeah, ultimately, what people don't talk enough about is that the Princess Switch is anti-prison industrial complex.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is deeply entrenched in prison abolition, and that is one of the many queer things about it.
And
Mhm.
and charitable giving, you know, like they care about some orphans. That's all.
Yes, they really tackle nonprofits.
They haven't. I'm sorry. I have to tell everyone who's listening. I told them earlier. I did not see Princess Switch 3, and I'm so sorry about that. But you can tell me more about it as we go along.
Oh, we will. Oh, we will.
Do
Oh, we
they
will.
adopt any of those orphans ever?
No.
Wow, no. What? No.
No.
Because I also feel like that would be the gayest thing ever. That like Stacey's just like, I actually just want to adopt like every child here.
Oh,
I could
wow.
see it.
Wow, no, I see your point. But no, I think Stacey was like, ooh, yikes. Love meeting y'all. Here are some toys. But like
Now
I
I'm
still
done.
need to get my now I still need to get my nut. I need to get my royal nut on.
Mm.
She was like, have you seen this other royal? Come on.
Only in the Princess Switch 1. I hear in 2 they're having some trouble.
Right?
Yeah, in 2
In
they're having some issues. I feel like that in 2 that is like they're having some gay issues.
Oh, the only plot line in 2 is
Lesbian
the
bed death.
prince is
Yes.
lesbian bed death, and then the prince just constantly being bullied and dismissed.
Yes.
Which I was like, yeah, this is the right kind of heterosexual representation that I want on film. This is about all I
He
want
has
to
a
see.
rough go of it.
Just constantly rejected.
Yeah.
It literally is the entire second movie is like, I don't want to sleep with my husband.
Yes, he like pokes his head out and he's like, "Hello, have you thought of maybe kissing me?" And she's like, "My God,
Yeah.
get out of here! You're everywhere I turn.
You're
I wanna go
hovering.
spend
You're
time."
hovering.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's like, I'm so sick of you. It's been like
Yeah.
a year.
I checked my schedule and it says more time with women.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us because okay, you did pitch this series to
Mhm.
us, right?
I did.
So
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about what's your background, like what's your experience? What brought us here? What was your history with the Princess Switch movies?
Well, what brought us here is seasonal depression.
Great.
But
love
I
it.
think we all knew that. We all saw that coming. No, so I am, as we already revealed, a Pisces, and I think with that comes a deep sentimentality, an embarrassing amount of romance or a romantic nature. And so I love a shitty Lifetime or Hallmark like rom-com, even though those are so mired in like heteronormativity,
Yeah.
like they'll take a woman who is striving in the business world and like being a incredible role model and like making change, and then they'll just like neuter her. They like bring her into a Christmas tree farm, strip her of any of her like business papers and give her a whisk. And yet I'm still like, I love this film. And I think Vanessa Hudgens has so much charisma. Like, I am not a High School Musical girly. I've never seen it, but I've just seen her, like on various red carpets. And I think I would watch her open like cans of tuna for 4 hours. I think she is so charming.
Yeah, she's great.
And she's
great.
really proves it in this trilogy.
She
she
gives
really
so
does.
much range. And so I've seen The Princess Switch before. It has stayed with me because they are so deranged. Like I love a shenanigan. I love a madcap jaunt, but the Olympic gymnastics these writers are doing to get a coherent plotline together,
It's
unrivaled.
It's insane. Like we were texting with some friends like while we were somewhere in the midst of like film 2
Okay,
or
brag.
3 this week.
Okay, brag.
What, that
and
she
we
has
were
friends?
like, we were like,
Yeah,
listen,
brag.
it's-
You have friends?
I did not agree to go on this podcast with the understanding that y'all had other friends. I thought this was it.
I was texting you. It was just you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, but I think I literally described these movies as like the plot is held together by like 2 staples and a chewed up piece of gum or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a shifty foundation under here. Okay.
Oh,
like
Vanessa Hudgens is keeping so many spinning plates up.
Yeah.
Like she is using full child actor. And I like right behind everything, I could like, right, like behind the shine in her eyes, I could see the like desperate grip of a child actor just holding on, trying to make like mommy or daddy or whoever's in the wings proud. It's just like, this is all on me. Like the mortgage, my parents' mortgage is on me. Like I gotta keep this all together. And then I think it is so ripe for dykeification.
Yeah.
I mean, the Princess Switch. Hello? Do I think Fiona is the titular Switch? I do.
Yes, absolutely.
Even in the first one, we don't even meet Fiona. Like, what do we think Fiona was doing in the first film?
Oh,
girls, women.
Fisting.
That's
Yeah.
what she was doing.
Fisting.
She spent all of her fortune on
You
women.
said, Fiona
women.
said, the Yuletide gay. More like me gay.
Yes.
Rah.
Wow.
The accents
God.
are impeccable.
Well, okay, I have so many things I want to say. So here's the thing. I had never watched them, and you picked them, and I knew
You're welcome.
honestly, I knew going in that like that you wanted to focus mostly on like 2 or 3, or at least the 2 and 3 were like your top gay. I know why now. But I was like, I am not the kind of person who can ever like jump in midway. Like, we got to start at the beginning. And so, and I told my wife, who like, you know, has to sit through everything I have to watch for this podcast with me. And so I was like, hey, like, BT dubs, here's what we're going to be doing for the next week. Like, we have to watch at least 2 of these movies. And she didn't even know who Vanessa Hudgens was. And I was like, I know.
Are you
and I was
serious?
I was like, sure you do. And she was like, nope, not at all. And so we like started watching the first one, and we were just like, what is happening? And then
you still, even when she saw her face, she's like, never seen this woman in my life.
It brought nothing to mind.
I don't know that she's seen the High School Musical movies, honestly.
But has she seen News Network ever once in her life?
No, probably not.
Wow.
That is insane.
This is someone who has like a rich life. She has like
I know
actual hobbies.
So, well, it's the hobbies is we have children and we don't do anything anymore in our lives.
That makes sense.
So,
Still.
So anyway, so we proceeded to, I swear to God, like binge these movies, like just hardcore. Like, we went hard on these movies. Ellie knows how little time we have and how long it usually takes me to like set aside time to watch like an film for like a Should Have Been Gay. And I'm like, no, I swear to God, like we watched all 3 of these bad boys in like the last week, like possibly under a week. We were just trucking through them, like sit down every night and we're like, okay, we can finish this. We'll start the next, whatever. We'll start it. Yeah, like we watched them all. We're obsessed. We were literally laughing because like my parents literally texted me last night right after we finished the 3rd movie, and they were like, hey, like do you have any good movie recommendations? Because the last movie we recommended for them was when we had just finished watching like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and they were like, that one was so good, and I was like, should we troll my parents?
I'm like, a very different film.
Should we send this and be like, oh my God, we just watched this, you'll love it?
Oscar worthy.
Right, that feels less like a movie recommendation, more like The Ring, like the situation in The Ring, where you just have to push this movie onto someone else to like
wait,
stop
actually,
hearing.
that's incredible. If we
7
started a new thing where people just started telling people to watch The Princess Switch and not telling them what it's about.
But here's what's funny about it is it's like there are so many things where I'm just like, what is happening?
Sure.
What is happening? But also, it was just so delightful. What a joy. What a fun experience.
Oh, it goes down smooth.
It really does. It really does. And I have to say, because we have done an awful lot of listen, I have watched an awful lot of Orphan Black in my life. And obviously, there's only one Tatiana Maslany out there. And
right.
Vanessa Hudgens is not that. And that's that's no disrespect to Vanessa Hudgens. Because the thing that was funny to me is you watch the first movie and I was like, oh, this is going to be a long road when we started, right? And she's got that terrible British just the generic un-American doing a British accent.
Oh my gosh, everyone,
Colette's
face is so
it's
upset.
It's not good.
But
you know what's
do not
funny?
insult Vanessa in front of Colette.
But here's what I'm saying. Then we started the second one, and what's funny is the second Meg started talking in the second one, and Kelsey was like, did her accent get worse? And I was like, no, I actually don't think it did. I think it got more specific. And then we meet Fiona, and I was like, oh, well, obviously. I'm like, she had to do 2 different distinguishable British accents.
Right.
So I'm like, so she actually probably got some coaching to come in and do 2 different accents and 2 different voices, and they sound different and distinguishable, and you can tell who she's being, and her physical acting got better, and I'm like, movie by movie, man, she's doing the work, she's putting the work in, and I was like, she's actually by the 3rd movie doing a pretty damn good job, you know. And I have high standards for people playing their own clones, because our options of what we've covered are basically Orphan Black and
The Parent Trap,
Parent Trap, Lindsay Lohan, who as we've discussed about Lindsay Lohan when we did Parent Trap and when we just did Freaky Friday, what a fucking amazing actress for this kind of stuff. And I'm like, listen, Vanessa Hudgens, you're get up there, man. You're doing it. You're making it happen, and I respect that.
It's very sweet of you to think that Vanessa Hudgens did any training or studying for these accents.
I honestly think that somebody has to have given her some tips on how to separate them.
The somebody was that she watched an episode of Great British Bake Off.
Oh, possibly.
And she was like,
yeah.
There are different acts. She was like, there are different British accents. Hold on.
Listen, I'm not discounting that as a very real possibility, but they did become two separate accents.
They were
Are they two
distinguished.
accents that actually belong to any real place in England? Probably not, but
We don't know.
don't
Right.
know.
It's also like, I love how any actor is like, we are in mysterious place in Europe. You're British.
You're British.
Listen, you're
You gotta
British.
be British.
You better pull out your Mrs. Potts and make it fucking work.
Okay, but-
Because guess
but
what?
you know
Maybe
what?
you're
Julie
British.
Andrews, like,
I-
got it together.
I have a theory on this because Kelsey and I were talking about that obviously as one of the first plot points because, and here's why, because in Princess Switch 1, did
Yeah.
anyone else notice that when they fly to Belgravia and land there, they're in like a fucking puddle jumper plane, right?
Yes.
Like they are in a plane that has a maximum range of like 2 hours. And so we're like, where are you flying from? Like, where is Belgravia in relation to Chicago?
They're supposed to
like,
be flying from Chicago.
Yeah.
Exactly. There is no place that you can
Oh.
get to in Europe from Chicago in that plane. Like it does
Oh,
not
you don't know?
exist.
Chicago's sister cities
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Belgravia. You
Yeah.
don't know? O'Hare has
So we're already
A
trying to
daily
figure
flight.
out the geopolitical situation of where Belgravia is located. And the other thing that absolutely cracked me up is I'm like, because everyone does that, right? Where it's like same thing with Genovia, like everyone made up country British accent. And so I'm like, what I actually think is absolutely correct about everyone's take on that is I'm like, listen, if you're going to invent a new country to just exist in the world, odds are at some point Britain tried to conquer it. Like, who are we kidding? Right? Like,
true.
name a country on earth that Britain isn't going to have tried to like take over. So I'm like, why shouldn't they all have British accents? Like, yeah, sure.
Wow.
Why
So what
not?
I'm hearing is that the Princess Switch is about the prison industrial movement. It's anti-imperialism.
It's anti-colonial. Yeah,
anti-colonial.
everything.
God, what
It is
can't
so
Vanessa
radical.
Hudgens
It is so
do?
radical.
But no, to your point,
A British accent is the answer.
Holy.
I'm
come
sorry.
on. Yeah, she can't do one. She does multiple.
She does multiple.
Yeah.
I
She
know.
can't do a British accent. She
She
can
can
do
do
all the
all of
British
them.
accents. No, it is. I think why I love these movies so much is that there is very little foreplay, which I think is the least queer thing about it.
Yeah.
Like within, I looked at the timestamp. Within a minute 30, you have met Stacy, the Chicago baker, her friend, his daughter. They set up the competition. They tell you she had an ex, and then we are on our way.
The
Like, these-
exposition is unreal.
Oh,
It's
it is.
unreal.
I
These
will
movies are
say-
like poppers. They
Bef-
just like
Before, so I did try to watch the third one and I fell asleep. Sorry.
wow.
But I was just really exhausted. I had a flight this morning at 5 a.m. and I do not do well with mornings. So I sat to watch it. But before I fell asleep, same thing. Like 30 seconds in, they're like,
Yeah.
you know who we have to switch with again? Fiona.
Yeah.
So I know that happened
Yeah.
within the first minute.
Yeah, like,
That's
remember
me.
Fiona?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's here. She's coming back. Yeah.
She's coming
It
back.
is fast.
I did clock that in the first movie as well, like how much exposition they do so fast, right? And they're just like, remember that baking competition and your ex-boyfriend who you wanted to
Yeah.
marry but you didn't marry him, and remember this thing, and also my wife left, and also this is my child,
Yeah.
and now we're in the competition, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Right. And don't forget, Stacey, you're so type A, and we always say you need to be more spontaneous. We always say that. Anyway, let's get on a plane. Also, like, to your point, like, you retired from a 5 a.m. flight. You know who is always up at fucking 5 a.m.? Bakers.
Yeah.
I don't understand why in every rom-com, right, the main woman, the main like female lead has a job title you only see in like picture books, right? Like it is always like a baker, a florist, which like I love, but it's like a baker is someone who has to be up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
They're not going on romantic sleigh rides at 7 p.m. They're asleep. They are passed out. They have no time to be horny. They're exhausted. They need a melatonin.
So right.
Like I
That's
just
why-
don't think it's
I mean,
realistic.
that's why Stacey needed this trip. 'Cause
Right,
all
she
she was
needed-
doing was working.
You're absolutely
At
right.
4
You're
in the
absolutely
morning.
right.
I know. And Kevin's like, throw this schedule away. Like, no, she needs the schedule, Kevin. How is she going to keep this place running without her schedule?
If you haven't seen the Princess Switch, y'all, they say the word. It is clear that Vanessa Hudgens, the only thing she mastered in a British accent was that they say the word schedule instead of schedule. It is within every half hour someone says schedule.
Yes. I have nothing on my schedule tomorrow. Ellie, what was your experience?
Say my experience.
I know. What was your experience with the Princess?
Oh my God, sorry, Ellie.
It's okay. So my experience with the Princess Switch is that I think it must have been last Christmas. Me and my sister were just like sitting on the couch and we were like, what stupid Christmas movie are we going to watch? And we put on the Princess Switch. And we had to, we went through both Princess Switches back to back.
Yeah.
And we just devoured them. And we were laughing our asses off. Like, these movies are so chaotic. Particularly the second one really got me. Like, that stuck with me. Because today when we were doing this, I was talking to my sister again. And we were going through the plot. Like, we were reading it on Wikipedia together. And we were like, oh, yeah. And then Fiona kidnapped her. And then there were the two, henchmen people. And then, just reading through the Wikipedia synopsis is an adventure all of its own. It is chaos. And then I didn't get to watch the third one. I really was trying to watch it and I fell asleep. And I'm so sorry because I really want to watch it. I'm probably going to watch it tonight. Just wasn't in the cards.
I think you need to watch it, Ellie, because here's the thing. The third one is where I think this series really goes off the rails, because this is like Princess Switch 3, but as I am also calling it now around the house, it's also like Ocean's 3, right? Where you're like, it's a jewel heist now. We've got lasers, we've got blueprints, we've got all sorts of, we've got backpacks, and we're synchronizing our watches, we've got a getaway car. And what I choose to believe is if they keep making Princess Switches, yes, more Hudgens, all the Hudgens. Give me all. How many other places can you find people who are distantly related and look like exact twins of each other? But I also just think that, as you keep making them, I want Princess Switch 5, where, the, president of the U.S. Hudgens has, finally recovered from her, alcoholism, but Russia's marching now and she's got the nuclear codes, but she has to she's got a karaoke competition to chair and she can't be in two places at once, or can she? Right? That's what I want. It's you just start going further
every
and
single
further.
Genre, just keep going crazy.
You hit them all.
crazier.
I literally was just telling Kelsey because I was like, I swear to God, I want Princess Switch 12, where it's the Saw edition of their franchise, and and they kidnap the wrong one to put him in a trap, and you have the evil, crazy, murderous Hudgens. I'm just, I don't care. Give me every movie as a Princess Switch. I'll watch it.
Oh, 100%. It's we were saying before we started recording that in every film, they're not only adding a Vanessa Hudgens, they're adding a new genre.
Yeah.
So the second one is your thriller. Your third one, I think is your jewel heist.
Yeah.
I want one and it's always the most high stakes situation with the lowest stakes. It'll be oh no, someone stole the star piece, which is apparently one of the Vatican's most beloved
relics.
Yeah, and precious relics. But then also, little Olivia needs to go to dance recital. How are we going to make it work? It's no, what? Yes. Those are not two things. They are not of equal importance, y'all.
But it's because everything still has to be a holiday rom-com, and that's why I think it's beautiful. Because think about it. How do you make I want a Princess Switch horror movie that's also a Christmas rom-com, right? So it's
yeah, I want to know which of the Vanessa Hudgens were at January 6th.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want them to be no. Well, and cousin Jareth went to the insurrection, but then also we need to return all these gifts.
Yeah.
Oh
but here's why it's
also
perfect.
cousin Jareth's having marital problems and we need to have them.
But here's why it's perfect is because from the very get-go, when we started watching this movie, right, and first, the very first one, they go so hard on the exposition, and they're like, you have a boyfriend who dumped you, I have a wife who left, we are bakers, we're going to a competition, and then they get there, and they proceed to like duct tape up the most shoddy excuse for a plot, right? Because they have to do so much work for so little reason. And so they're like, oh, yes, the Prince of Belgravia, he's marrying the Duchess of Montenaro. She's very shy and doesn't like photos being taken, so nobody even knows what she looks like, because of course otherwise every single person would be like, oh my god, who is this baker and why do you look exactly like the Duchess who's marrying our prince? So they have to invent this like flimsy excuse to be like, no one knows what she looks like. And then they meet and she's like, I have an idea, we could switch places. Why? Because I'm a sheltered royal and I want to know how the common people live. And I'm like, nobody knows what you look like. Just walk outside. Just buy a baseball cap and walk outside. Like, what is stopping you? Nothing. There's no reason for any of this to happen. Nothing. Like, none of this needs to exist.
I also think, though, that's why I said she's trying to escape heteronormativity. Because there's also that piece of it that she's like, I'm engaged to this man that I do not want to be with. So I think it's more about that.
And her like Chessie character, because like this movie is just the Parent Trap meets like the Bear meets, I guess, like the Princess Diaries. So they even have like Chessie and Martin, like the two, like the housekeeper and like butler.
Yes. I have a new ship, which is that I ship Mrs. Donatelli with Chessie. Anyways, continue.
I mean, I was shocked by the third one that Mrs. Donatelli, like they didn't give her any action.
Right?
They kept every once in a while pointing out how hot she was. And I was like, yes, absolutely, mommy. And then nothing occurred.
Mrs. Donatelli could get it, man. I'm sorry. Like,
yes. Well, this is, I think, the Princess Switch 3 denied us, as I said, the fourth Vanessa Hudgens character that we deserved. And I think that character should have been non-binary and should have seduced Mrs. Donatelli.
Give Vanessa Hudgens an undercut is what we're saying. Okay?
Yeah. Yes. Always.
Because you know what's beautiful about that? If one of them gets an undercut, they're all going to get an
undercut.
They all
have
at some point in that movie.
That's how the Switch works, baby.
Can't fake that shit with a wig. There is no hair spraying this into place. Cut that shit off, Stacey. It's undercut.
Well, you wouldn't get the way that this film has no time to really address plot, but will still sneak in 4 different montages makes no sense.
Yes.
I'm like, why are we spending so much time watching Vanessa Hudgens teach Vanessa Hudgens how to walk across a room? When I barely understand what happened to any, I'm like, I don't understand the inheritance.
Listen,
like the monarchy lines here. I'm like, who killed the king? Who killed the king?
You know why they're giving us those montages of walking across the room, and it's because they know every good millennial who watched Princess Diaries on repeat 14 times every week is gonna sit there and be like, schlumpy shoulders. Yes, give me that montage over and over again. That's what we want. We eat that shit up. Come on.
And we want to see that technology, baby. We want that split screen, green screen, like double HUD technology. That's what the magic is.
HUD. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed, just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/letshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/letshangout.
Let's hang out.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, and when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, and when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Come on.
Do we think that Vanessa Hudgens is actually 3 people? The technology is actually that she's 3 people and she's hiding it from all of us?
Is this
whole time?
Is this like a
This
what's that
entire
movie?
time.
What's the movie where they do that? The
This
Prestige.
entire time,
Is
Vanessa
this like the
Hudgens.
Prestige
Yeah,
in real
Vanessa
life?
Hudgens has been triplets.
She's been prestiging us for the whole
Yeah.
time. I love it.
Oh, wow. I mean, I wouldn't want to suggest anything that takes away from the incredible talent
of the one Hudge. Of the
the
one
one
Hudge.
Hudge.
Just saying. But yeah,
But-
we love it. We love a green screen. We love a montage. The montage also is so ridiculous. Like, just like the things that she has to learn. And you're just like, why are you having such a hard time with it? Like, it's one of the more ridiculous makeover montages I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right. The things they devote the time to of like making sure they switch like phone case covers and yet barely covered anything about each other's like interior
they
lives.
don't understand anything. Yeah, like she clearly knows nothing about her when she's
No.
like trying to talk to other people.
No.
But
But
she's
she
like,
knows
look,
how
I'm
to
wearing a
walk.
boot cut jean.
Yeah.
I'm a commoner in my boot cut jean.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay. What's more egregious though? The dress up montages or the amount of time that we spend watching Fiona dance around imaginary lasers that were clearly not in the shot in the third movie? Because
Oh, that they intercut with a tango sequence?
Yes. Like
I mean-
what's worse is what I'm asking.
I mean, those both were like deeply erotic. So I would never ask to remove a scene of Vanessa Hudgens slow back springing into a split.
All I want to know is why did we
Wait,
not
I
get
need to see this film.
You really do. Why did we
sorry.
not
I'm
get
so
more
sorry.
of Fiona teaching Meg how to do the tango? Because listen, when I say like how distantly do they have to be cousins for me to be okay with this, like that scene has a lot to do with it.
It was okay. So
I was ready for more.
Yeah,
I was
so
ready
explain
for
this.
more.
Let's explain this cousin
The plot
situation.
line of Princess Switch 3. Get ready, baby.
Oh God, I'm
it's
so
a doozy.
excited.
We get a triple Fiona at one point. So basically, it begins with Stacy, who is now princess of whatever
Belgravia, yeah.
Belgravia, and now Queen Margaret are
she's
queen yet?
Yeah, because she gets coronated.
Right, that's the second one. That she gets coronated on Christmas Day.
She gets crowned on Christmas Day. Why can they never do anything not on Christmas? Why do the royals?
I was about to say,
hate
not that anyone wants to
getting to spend Christmas
time with their family,
yeah.
Right? It's like, fuck your presents and your Christmas ham. Come watch this girl put a crown on her head.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So she's now queen. They are obviously doing an international Christmas festival, a thing that we all know and look forward to every year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vatican apparently has a like lending library of relics. And you may think, okay, what does the Vatican have to give out? Like the taxidermied hand of a witch or like an old Pope's head? No, they have like.
I'm sorry. Do you think the Vatican is not just chock-a-block full of jewels? Like,
I thought it would be more like bones and...
No, dude. It's all solid gold. It is like solid gold and fucking rubies. At the Catholic Church, have you been in any Catholic church anywhere on Earth?
Okay, you can clearly tell by how much I love Razzle Dazzle that yes, I have. I was in the choir, baby. Anything with smoke and incense.
The Vatican is just jewels left and right. Like, come on. The Pope probably just has like fucking bejeweled toilet paper to wipe his ass. Like, come on.
But I didn't know they were giving it out. I'm like,
true. They only give the bones away.
It, you know?
They don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought they were handing out the like objects of their enemies,
yeah.
all the pagans they defeated. But anyway, the Vatican brings this giant star that's like a big deal, and then within 3 minutes, the star has been already stolen.
But you know what I love about it? It's not just that they call it the star; it's that it's legitimately supposed to be a like deeply revered Catholic relic that is a Christmas tree topper.
Yep.
Like
I mean, we love our Christmas. Let's be real.
Just incredible. Like, yeah, you know, Jesus of Nazareth famously topped his, you know, big fir tree with this bad boy. Like, what? Where?
Yeah,
From
he was more of a
popcorn.
Jesus was more of a popcorn garland kind of guy. But, you know, he liked it. It reminds me of when, under my Christmas tree, like my family Christmas tree, we put up a nativity, you know, just a gesture towards the hashtag reason for the season. And my mom is French. And so we have this like old French nativity that I've had my whole childhood. And increasingly I just find in the bag with all the like little statues, figurines that I think my mom just like collects from thrift stores or like from like Toys R Us's that she tries to incorporate and say it has always been there. So I remember like one year there was a priest. There was like a figurine of a Catholic priest.
Oh my God.
And my mom was like, yes, he was there. And I'm like, a Catholic priest was at the birth of Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
Who is the whole foundation of the religion that didn't even exist? What?
We're going so far off the rails, but I'm going to do it anyways because
baby.
While we're learning all of the things that we all share in common, here's my favorite thing: is we have this like long running joke in my family because when I was little, I grew up in France, and when I was a kid, we were like dirt poor, like we had no money. And so what we used to do every year is my brother and I would literally we would draw our own little like nativity creches on paper and like cut them out and like stand them up with like the little paper backing, right? And so we have this like long running joke from when I was, I don't know, like 4 or 5, something like super little, where we were like going through like our little nativity drawings, and I had drawn a little Christmas penguin to go in my nativity scene. And so it's like you have like, you know, like the Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, like some sheep, some shepherds, big star, and a penguin. It's like
okay, this
Perfect.
is a tradition that Christine McIntyre could really get behind.
I love it. I love it.
Because we're getting all sorts of characters. I'm pretty sure there's like now a Funko Pop that shows up to the nativity. I'm like, this doesn't fit in, Mom.
But do you have a little paper penguin drawn by a 5-year-old?
I mean, now we will. Now that is
this is the new edition.
Wow. Okay, y'all. I think I'm really beginning to think that we are all. What is like? Would everyone name your great grandmother's cousin on 3?
1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
Anne.
It's Cecil.
Okay.
Oh, it's Anne. It's Cecil, but Cecil went by Anne. It was like so crazy. It was like classic Cecil.
That's her
Okay,
middle
so the star gets stolen. Whoa. Okay. Immediately, because the Princess Switch is inherently anti-carceral and anti-police, both the Vatican police and I guess the Montenegro police are like, there's nothing to be done. We have no leads. And then the geniuses in the writer's room of the Princess Switch had these characters be like, okay, how do we access the criminal underground? Like, we need someone who has been scamming and deceiving for decades. You know who that is? Boop, boop. That's Fiona, baby. And so they take her out of the like convent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's literally just mopping a floor in a convent now. That's in high
and
heels.
that's how community service is.
Yeah.
Unclear. And then it is up to her and her former lover,
Peter.
So they would have us believe Peter, who worked for Interpol.
Interpol for sure. Interpol.
Read it on the Wikipedia.
Yeah. They find out that the person who stole the star is one of Fiona's other lovers, still a man. Don't believe it. Don't. That's not science. Fiona is absolutely a quintessential pansexual, bisexual. No one invests in that level of hattery and haberdashery quite like a bisexual. Like Fiona fucks everyone. I think
accurate.
Fiona's fucked both of her henchmen.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh, definitely. Like there's no way they have that level of loyalty to her unless they've all fucked.
I think she and Mindy have a thing going. I feel like Reggie probably got way too drunk one night because Reggie is gay as they come, man. Like
totally.
So I feel like Reggie would have to be fairly inebriated to show any interest in either of those women. Mindy, 1000%. Like they are in a committed relationship. No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they gave Mindy purple hair, and we're not supposed to think that anything queer is happening in that household. Please.
They gave Mindy purple hair and made her look at Fiona like that when she's demonstrating her ability to like shove her little ass up through the lasers in that scene. Come on, please.
Right. And then all of a sudden, Mindy, like out of nowhere, Mindy can hack. Like all of a sudden, Mindy is like hacking into the mainframe. Like all of a sudden, Mindy is cyberpunk. I'm like, when did this occur?
Yeah.
I also feel like Mindy was not that like, her character was not that like, I don't want to say smart. I don't want to say intelligent.
No.
But like, no. She was not that brainy in the second movie.
Oh no, she was. I mean, even in the third movie, she's like a dum-dum until they realize they've run out of characters to use on this like espionage.
You're like, I guess she has to be a hacker now.
Yeah. They're like, she's kind of a ding dong, but she really loves HTML. It's like, all right.
Okay.
I was like, probably. Right. I taught myself HTML and like Neopets. So I'm like, Mindy probably the same.
That's a very gay way to learn HTML. Sorry, I feel like a lot of people learned it from like MySpace, where you would have to like program your own stuff. Or even like,
here's what I'm thinking, Ellie.
You had to do HTML? Does anyone know what Zanga is?
Oh, yeah. Live journal? Hell
yeah.
Yeah.
Super gay.
Here's what I'm thinking. Mindy's like, I'm not that smart, but I have hacked into some cameras to watch Fiona getting dressed at night. So, like, I've got this. You need me to hack that closed circuit, put it on a feedback loop. Yeah, I got you. They
open Mindy's laptop and it's just multiple photos of Fiona. There are like tabs open that are like, how do you make woman in love? How do you seduce women? And she's like, yeah, don't pay attention to that. Ignore that. Anyway, Python, right? CSS, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, Ellie. So they have to find this star. they start pulling, like, they figure out who this guy who stole it is, and then they start pulling up, I swear to God, like, fucking 3D blueprints of his entire mansion, like, his whole castle. They're like, here's his chateau where he's having his holiday get-together, and also, here's, like, a 3D map pulled out of his secret study that's not on the regular blueprints, and also here is a full reconstruction of the laser system in the secret vault room where he's keeping the Star of Peace, and we just roll with it. Nobody
No one knows how they got the blueprints.
a single
Like,
question.
there's nothing. Yeah.
Oh no. According to this movie, the world is just a game of Sims and Peter is the only one playing.
Yes.
Like he is able to take the roofs off of all of our homes. He could put any of us in a pool and delete the ladder and leave us to drown. Like Peter has access to all of our innermost workings and secrets and so many different iPads. Peter brings out the most elaborate looking iPads and keeps doing like computer enhanced.
He literally at one point,
God.
there is a button on the bottom of the screen that just says enhance. And I'm like, and he hits it, and I'm like, I love this so much. Like, it's
So high tech.
it's so stupid, and I love it so much. But yeah, that's, I mean, and then they're doing like the test runs of the laser room, and then they're like rappelling off the roof of Queen Margaret's like whatever government state home that she, like, I don't even know, dude.
Yes. Well,
So
an important B story. So what I love about Princess Switch 3 is that you really forget they don't give the other Hudgens much work. You know, they kind of just pop in every once in a while and they're like, wow, we're so in heterosexual love with each other.
Yeah.
Amazing. Back to Fiona. What we learn is that Fiona and Peter went to the same boarding school as children. And Fiona, has some trauma.
The fact that they
exactly
kludged in this whole storyline with the mother, and I was just like, how many movies are we fitting into this movie? We're in Ocean's 11. We're a Christmas rom-com. We're like a deep family drama about healing. And I was just like, oh, wow.
Yeah, talk about everything everywhere all at once.
God.
That's Princess Switch 3, baby. Yeah, no, it's truly when they reveal that Fiona has a like deeply complicated relationship with her mother, I'm like, that is lesbian first date material. Why are you trying to lead me to believe that her and Peter are gonna have like straight people sex?
Okay,
no,
but wait. The other great thing about you making that comparison to Everything Everywhere All at Once is Everything Everywhere All at Once is a movie entirely about the trauma of a woman not accepting her daughter's queerness. I'm just saying. I'm just dropping that in. Okay,
Yes.
I'm just putting that in.
So they reconcile at the end, though. So do you feel
Yes.
right? So do you feel like this entire film is just like Fiona coming to terms with her queerness with her mother?
Well, I think it is Fiona coming to terms with her queerness within herself, right? There's a through line that Fiona's always running. Where are you running from, Fiona? Where are you running from?
Where's your plane to, Fiona? Why do you have another plane to catch? Where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going? Why won't you let people get close?
Yeah,
Why
get
is
out
your
of the
ticket...
closet, Fiona. Stop hiding.
Right. Why are all your tickets to the island of Lesbos? Where are you going?
Surprise.
Or who's DJing there? Is it Lindsay
Why do you
Lohan?
always take Mindy
Right?
on all of these
Why don't you
planes?
invite anyone else? It's so weird. But no, truly, yeah. Like she comes to this big realization that so the reason why she has a complicated relationship with her mom is that her mom was never around for her. Oh, she always felt abandoned by her mom. And then, is she becoming her mom? Cue like Mulan reflection moment. She's looking in a mirror. She's looking in a puddle.
Who is that gay I see? Yeah.
Oh, it's my girlfriend Mindy.
Yes.
It's all there.
Oh my god!
It's all
Listen, we
there.
are all the same person. What is happening? I love it so much.
The princess switch has become the switches are coming from inside the house. But what we're really glad, and we did mention it already, but I think you really need to deeply understand, is that there is a 10-minute sequence in this hour and a half long film that is doing 3 films in one, that is just Vanessa Hudgens crawling through lasers, interspliced with Vanessa Hudgens dancing a tango.
Mm.
And we do a full tango track. I kept thinking, oh, surely we're going to wrap it up now. No, baby. That was only the third bridge. We have
And
like 4.
who is she tangoing with?
She's tangoing with the guy who stole the Star of Peace, who is like an ex paramour of Fiona's, right? And he's like smarmy and terrible.
But which Fiona's tangoing?
Oh, Margaret. Margaret
question.
as Fiona, which is the other thing that is cracking us up, because like she is putting her whole Vanessa Hudgessi into that dance.
Yes!
She is not wearing a lot of underwear or anything under that dress and being flipped up in the air an awful lot. And we're like, do you think everyone here knows that like they're staring up their queen's crotch right now? Like, cause she's...
Oh yeah, you get so much thigh,
She's letting
baby.
it all hang out is what we're going
Christmas
with.
Eve dinner is all thigh and leg.
No, and I love it because it's Margaret walking around this whole party where it's like anytime anyone talks to her, she just has to be like, sexy, rawr, and then she like walks away and she's like, oh, good lord. And I'm like, it is.
And then you might be thinking,
scene. I love it.
You're like, what is Stacey doing? What's our little Chicago baker doing? She's also Fiona.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Why? That's because they broke Fiona out of jail, or they didn't break. They were given her. It's unclear the
snuck
terms
her
of the release.
out. Yeah, the convent was basically like, sure, you can like have her for a little bit, but like she has to get back for a disciplinary committee hearing on Christmas, right?
But then, she's too busy walking through lasers. How is she going to go to the convent as well? Well, don't you know it? They just have another blonde wig laying around.
Oh
you
my
son
God.
of a gun. And so then you have Stacey as Fiona in front of her parole here, like at a parole hearing, essentially. Weirdly pushing for Fiona to get more time in prison. And it is Prince
Edward.
boring boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is the one who's like, Fiona has proven that she can be trusted. And they get her out.
And they get her out.
Wow.
It's
So
incredible.
it's a great film overall for Fiona. She's getting everything she needs.
Yes.
Oh,
She
it's
gets
a real
out.
Fiona.
She
It's Fiona
gets
centric.
a man. We don't really care about that, but she reconciles with her mother. Fiona's just living it.
She finds family at the end, right? Like, there's this whole, like, we're all family, found family kind of storyline in this way that you're like, you're all sort of related, but also it's a found
With
family
other
storyline,
Hudgens.
which just
So wait,
feels deeply gay as well.
Stacey is related to both of them too.
Yes.
Yeah, in the first
Stacey's-
movie, right?
I
They
forget
you find out-
establish.
They within again 2 seconds. And it's the most cursory. Like everyone reacts to the fact that they have the same face, pretty fucking chill. And it's Mrs. Delacour, Donatelli, who says, "Oh right, yeah, your great grandmother had a cousin Cecil who moved to America."
Anyway, and then 3
Swippy
generations
swipes.
later created a human clone of you. Yeah, normal stuff, normal genetics.
Makes sense.
And then then Stacey makes some like weird, vague, like she, like his name was like Cecil like Genovese, and she's like, well, Stacey Genovio, kind of the same. And I'm like, is this like Ellis Island?
Wait,
We're
like, was
also
he
talking
supposed-
about immigration.
Right, like I was like, was he
There's
supposed to
so much
Americanize?
going on here.
He was like supposed to Americanize his name, but he like just chose an even more Italian sounding name.
Wait, sorry, it gets even weirder because then at some point at the end of The Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star, we get this also throwaway line from Stacey, right? Who's like, well, I'm Filipino, haha, something. And I'm like, I mean, mustn't you all be Filipino, especially Fiona, who we just saw this entire movie have multiple flashbacks to a small Filipino child at boarding school? Like, surely you're all also Filipino. Where the fuck is Montanaro located? Like, still unclear to all of us.
We will never know.
No one will ever know. Famous European / South Pacific island, Montanaro.
Yes, Montanaro. I mean, I do love it. Listen, Vanessa Hudgens is one of our most iconic Filipino actors, and I love that she was like, I am not hiding that for any of your weird European genetic.
But it was just
mess.
so fun that they like gave it a specific line too,
Yeah.
because you're just like, okay, but now that you've introduced this, you're putting some plot holes back into your story.
We're gonna have to address that in Princess Switch 4.
Yeah, I think so.
They go to all the Philippines.
They go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we're getting so we've barely even talked about why these movies are gay.
Yeah, we barely talked
but
about anything gay, yeah.
I do
the
have
whole
one-
film is gay. I feel like
I promise you, everyone front to back in this movie should have been, could have been, is in fact gay.
I want to use this while we talk about the random plot holes that these films just sort of are like happy to like shoehorn in of their own volition. Here's the piece that I said at the beginning is, to me, the most egregious violation of the Princess Switch 3, okay? Which is, where is Rose McIver? Where, I want to know, is Rose McIver, and what is the continuation of the weird collection of the Netflix cinematic universe of Christmas movies that we have established? Because here's what happens for anyone who missed it and was not as invested in this as I am, okay? In Princess Switch 1, Margaret
I have no idea what's
as...
happening.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. Margaret as Fiona... Margaret as Stacy sits down with Kevin in Princess Switch 1 to watch
the movie.
And what movie do they pick?
A Christmas Prince?
My Christmas Prince, starring Rose McIver. Okay? And she's like, is this your favorite movie? And he's like, no, it's your favorite movie. Okay? So we have established that there is a movie inside of the Princess Switch universes that is A Christmas Prince, starring Rose McIver. Cut to the coronation scene of Princess Switch 2, where who is at that coronation but Rose McIver and her Christmas Prince and their Christmas baby are at the fucking coronation, and they wave to them. Meg, as she's walking down the aisle to get crowned queen, like, gives them a little nod, and they, like, nod back. And I'm like, okay, so we are left to conclude there is no other conclusion that you can draw from this other than, in this universe, the Christmas Prince is a documentary that happens to be Stacey DeNovo's favorite Christmas movie. And I want to know what happens. And then they don't appear in Princess Switch 3 at all. And I'm like, where is Rose McIver, Netflix? Bring Rose McIver back. I was waiting for her to like jump in the laser room and be like, let me throw you my baby to offset the weight sensor on the plate. Like something. Make something happen. Where are they? Okay.
They're just, they're not really filling in all these plot holes. Like they're not, you thought they were going Marvel Universe, and then they were like, they couldn't afford.
They're like Marvel Universe if nobody's job is to keep track of what you did in the last movie.
I mean, I was surprised that they remembered like whose parents had died and what. Like, I thought they were just gonna mess up and be like, "Here's Lady Margaret's dad," and I'm like, "No, she's famously an orphan." But no, I mean, the poor writers, I think. They already got a last minute note from Vanessa Hudgens where she was like, "Oh, by the way, I demand that at least one of my characters is Filipino." And they're like, "Okay, all right, we'll figure it out. We'll find a place."
They're like, "Someone go find us a small Filipino girl stat."
Right? They're like, "We got to make this work." Vanessa EP Hudgens needs it.
Yeah.
So I think there just wasn't enough room to really comb through the previous text.
Listen,
I think they're leaving it on purpose. They want they wanted this to happen. They wanted this discussion exactly to happen. They want everyone to be discussing the history of Princess Switch for hours.
Sorry, I forgot to mention. I'm actually Vanessa Hudgens playing Colette McIntyre. Colette couldn't be here
Vanessa.
tonight. Yeah,
we're so happy to have you here. And sorry about
Colette,
the comments that Lee made earlier about your accent.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, listen, I love to learn. I love to grow. I really take all criticism.
I also feel like it's a real. We did a real disservice to anyone listening that none of us decided to do this whole episode in a bad British accent.
Blonde wig.
Ellie, like it's right there waiting for you.
Wait, Allie, I love the idea that you're like, we could have been wearing a blonde wig. This is famously, I believe, an auditory medium.
Yes. Yeah.
We could tell them we are all wearing blonde wigs.
We are actually. We are all wearing blonde wigs, listeners.
My hair's in my mouth.
You gotta listen to more of our podcast, Colette, because we love
a visual gag. I love
a visual gag on this podcast. Okay.
Well, that's why I thought it was so funny that you were dodging lasers this whole recording.
This whole time.
I found it so impressive.
It is really
It's,
impressive.
I mean, the ways in
You
which
should see
you
my
can move
ass
that
is like
hammy.
my ass is so high, getting up in the air off the ground to like avoid this laser. I'm doing a full split, you know, like it's intense.
And like
Very
it's
impressive.
nothing. Like you're not even out of breath.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Amazing.
It is crazy that we've spent so much time talking about this insane movie that barely are we like,
We
also,
barely-
yeah,
It's
you
gay.
could have been horny and gay.
Yeah, so let's discuss a little bit more. I mean, we've talked about Fiona. What are the let's really deep dive on Fiona. So we have the family trauma. We have the like flamboyance of Fiona.
I mean, high
Like,
femme
outfits,
pageantry, often gay. Yeah.
yes. Like the fact that she even has
Like we are getting
henchmen. I just feel like it's a very like queer thing, right? To be like, this is our queen bee, and like here's the henchmen, and they're all just queer.
And that her henchmen are so clearly gay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like
Very
that
gay.
that is a gay trio. That is not there are no straight people involved in the Fiona little triangle of
Which
whatever
is
they
why
have.
Princess Switch 3 is a travesty, because why would you make it all about her relationship with two men?
Oh, right. I mean, it's just it seems like a real bad lie. Like it's just really hard to believe when you see Fiona and Peter talking to each other. It's like two coworkers,
Yeah.
just standing by a water cooler. Meanwhile, I'm like, drop Fiona into Hot Rabbit, and you would see her in her natural fucking
Mhm.
element.
Lee, have you ever
Yeah,
been to a hot rabbit party? Probably not. Yeah.
You don't.
It's just, yeah.
I'm
Just
Just
like-
that is
I'm old and lame and married. This is come on, Ellie.
no. All of that means you don't have to go to Hot Rabbit,
Yeah,
which is
you don't have
a
to.
gift. That's how you know that you've won. You've succeeded. I don't want to be there. No one wants to be there.
Except for
sweaty.
Fiona.
Except for Fiona Fiona is like, yeah, the ultimate, like, she would be on the real L Word. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
Fiona is a gay elite.
Yes.
Like, she's being wasted in, like, 100%. She's obsessed in Princess Switch 3. They keep talking about going to, like, Capri or, you know, like, any of these, like, hot vacation destinations. And I'm like, yeah, that's because, like, she absolutely is enemies with Lindsay Lohan. Like, Fiona slept with Samantha Ronson.
Yep.
Fiona has slept with Kristen Stewart. She is, like, a lesbian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fiona. Oh my God! Wait, listen. Cara Delevingne, Princess Switch 4. Yes.
Done.
Right? Like,
Incredible.
hot ex Cara Delevingne breaks up her and Peter because, like, listen, nothing against Peter. You tried so hard, Peter. You just, it's like he came in with like such a rough bar of like. Just the men in these movies are vaguely forgettable, you know? And so I'm like, none of us really care about the dudes anyways. Plus, it's like you had the first movie where you're like, okay, I guess at least we like get to see Edward like say anything, or like you had 2 movies to get to know Kevin. And I'm like, then you just trot Peter out and you're just like, quick, get behind this. Look how sad he was at boarding school. And I'm like, it's just not really
Right.
enough
And they're
for
like, look at
me.
him now. He's in a turtleneck.
Yeah.
I'm like, like, Peter is also a cop, so I don't really, or like was a cop,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but then was framed for a diamond thing or something.
Yeah.
It's very unclear. But then again, I don't know. I mean, I know that we really just sold in how gay Fiona is, and like I do think she's incredibly gay, and this is not taking away from that. And like I know that I would be obsessed with Fiona, like all of her exes. Like her birthday would be my phone password, even years after we broke up. But I also think that I would wake up one morning and Fiona would have left me for a cop. Like that does kind of make sense,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm.
Like Fiona does read as someone that you like think everything is going great. You have like matching stick and poke tattoos, and then all of a sudden she's left you for a straight man.
Okay, but here's the
Yeah.
thing. Yes, but
I mean,
only
that doesn't
because,
mean she's not queer.
only
Let's
because-
Right.
Okay, I'm just saying she would do it, but only because she had like some parking tickets that she needed taken care of, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Right.
She wouldn't even tell
Stanley-
you though. She would just be like, "Sorry, babe. This is."
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, it's
Yeah.
so funny. This is just how life works. Colette moo.
Are you even
Maggie.
how would you
Moo.
would you die if Vanessa Hudgens called you Colette Moo? Would that like be the highlight of your whole year?
It would. think I would cease to exist. Like, I think I would
Mm,
just fully apparate. I would transcend into nirvana. There's nothing left for me on planet Earth.
that's
If
it.
Vanessa had just looked me in my eyes and said, Colette move, oh my God.
It's
But
done. It's
would you
over.
want her to be in the full Fiona getup when she did it?
I just don't know if both of us would like, how would both of our hats fit in whatever room that we're in where this transpires?
Mm.
You know, like as someone, you can't really tell right now. Well, just kidding, listener. I am currently wearing a befeathered robe, head to toe. Also, upon my head, there's a golden finch, and it's alive. How is it staying there? No one knows.
It's scared of the lasers, obviously. Come on.
Right. It's really terrifying.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be here. But no, truly, I am someone who often is in like high femme drag. So I just worry that if we were lovers, and I would love to be, it's like how much closet space do we have access to?
Well, listen, she's probably got a whole chateau just full of closets somewhere where she's hiding, where all of these Princess Switch characters, like, you know, stay in the closet. I don't know. I think it's doable.
It would definitely have to be like pre losing all of her money. Like once she lost it all, you couldn't stay with her either.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
They also never really solved that. Like, I'm going to be like in Princess Switch 3, which you didn't see, they don't really address the fact that she is broke. They're like,
Broke.
she is a mom now, but
Yeah.
she owes so much in taxes.
Yeah.
Like, I think in Princess Switch 4, she's going to jail because she has not paid income tax.
No.
I'm
Mhm.
sure in like decades.
Yeah, for years. Years. But yes, so Fiona's super gay. Let's talk a little bit about Stacy being gay.
God, Stacey.
Okay, so Stacy's whole thing from the beginning is like her ex left her, like depressing. She basically has not dated at all since that ex, right? Which I feel like is also just like a super queer thing of like she's just like harboring this like heartache for so long. Her best friend is also a lesbian, like Kay/Kevin, right?
Yes.
I just feel like they're like a very queer friendship.
Okay, plus, we all know that gay baker on TikTok who does the, like, slap in the dough. Like, there were opportunities here. Baking can get pretty gay. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I think baking is exclusively gay these days. Like, most lesbians aren't out at bars at night anymore, and it's because everyone is like tending to their sourdough starter.
Yeah.
I have to lure women onto dates, like to date me, by promising sourdough. So it's like only Baker's Works, butcher, baker, candlestick maker. That's
Gay.
the first 3 people I saw when I
Gay.
opened Lex.
Yeah.
Those are all homosexual women.
Yeah.
And it's also like they make a big point of Stacey being like type A and so tightly wound and everything is scheduled. And I think it's because it's like, Stacey, what are you scared of? You know, like if you just let go a little bit, if you like, you know, make those dough make that dough into 2 supple rounds, put them side by side. What are you scared of? Like, what are you going to unlock? What are you going to find?
And I feel like that's why in the second movie, she is so like, because she was like, oh, I'm in love with a prince and that's so crazy and cool. And then she was like, wait, I hate this. She's like, she buries herself. Right. She buries herself in work in the first movie. She buries herself in work in the second movie. Like she's constantly trying to be busy because she's trying to suppress her gay thoughts. We know this.
And while we're talking about things they don't really come back around to in the third movie, so like they don't really deal with the fact that like Fiona's broke and like basically has nothing but a giant empty mansion full of like the toilet paper she stole to eat tonight, right? So they also really don't address the fact that they're like, hey, remember how the Princess Switch 2 is all about how you stopped fucking your husband? And like we're just never gonna circle back around to that. Like we're just gonna leave that where it was, okay? Like there's no resolution here. We don't ever see you be like, and oh, I'm just gonna like grab him by the epaulettes and like pull him into our bedroom. Like no, that scene never happens.
Well, you could tell by how excited Prince Edward is, because he gets looped into the Switch rompery,
some
in
skullduggery, huh?
As he calls it. Yeah, he gets to participate in the shenanigan and the facade, and he comes to life in a way that immediately suggests, I'm like, oh, y'all are still not.
No,
fucking.
he has not gotten laid in a long time. That man.
Oh yeah, no, he is putting all of his sexual energy into sewing badges and epaulets onto all of his blazers.
A problem that Kevin and Meg clearly do not have, right? Because like Kevin, who proposed first of all, Meg proposes to Kevin, gay. Then they literally get married like that
in an airport.
That day.
Airport.
That is so gay.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then they finish the third movie and he's like, you still got those red heels? And like, yeah. I mean, they are not shying away from like which couples are still fucking and which are not. And the answer is
right,
Stacey.
because Kevin is a lesbian. I'm like, truly, if subtly in the way that they were just like, oh, so Stacey is Filipino. If they were just like, oh yeah, Kevin's a trans man, I'd be like, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I'd be like, yes, here
And
we go.
to be fair, put a trans man or a lesbian in any of the outfits Kevin was wearing. Like, yeah.
They were
I mean,
sold.
you didn't see Kevin in anything but a like warm turtleneck, like a warm colored, like wine turtleneck and a loose trouser.
Yeah.
Like he was killing it. Can we also wait? Okay. I know that we're talking about like the main girlies are V Hudges as like star queer characters, but when Lee, when you said there's a character or like I was so betrayed or aghast at this like the lack of a through line in the third Princess Switch, I really thought what you were going to say, not my Christmas Prince. I thought you were going to talk about the villain of Princess Switch 1, the redheaded baker, Brianna,
Yes.
who I was like, that
Yes.
is a hot, bitchy lesbian if I've ever seen one. And I want more of her.
Can we ship her and Fiona? Because like they'd be
Yes!
fucking vicious together.
Imagine the backstabbing that they would get up to, the intrigue, the scams, the sabotage.
Yeah, I mean, girl has a lot of skill. Like, also, the amount of energy that she put into sabotaging Stacey is like you're teetering on the edge of like that when you hate someone so much you're actually in love with them.
Well, okay, and
Exactly.
here's
Like, that's what it is.
here's where
You're
you look at
obsessed with
movies
her.
like this and you're like, put more queer people in writers' rooms. And here's why. Because any queer person would know that actually what you have is a fantastic setup, because you ended Princess Switch 3 where Stacey is still clearly not a huge Fiona fan, right? Because she was like, no, maybe keep her in the convent.
yeah.
I should stay here a little longer, actually. So she's clearly still not on board. And I'm like, lean into that, like the chemistry that you have of her being like not quite there, and have Fiona show up with her new girlfriend who's the fucking baker from the first movie, and you just are watching Stacey like seethe internally at being like, I fucking hate all of this so much, and it just opens up like such delightful possibilities for you.
And then we get a classic enemies to lovers storyline between,
Mhm.
I would say, Stacey and Fiona. Right? Like, why does Stacey hate Fiona so much and continually push her away or try to get her out of the house and put her in prison?
Well, I feel like it might be because she kidnapped her in the second one.
Right. Wait, that is a great
Wait. No, but even better.
Yeah, have to kidnap her to love her.
Even
Kidnap her to
better.
love her.
No,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
have Fiona.
Stockholm syndrome, that shit.
You have Fiona shows up with "This is who I'm dating now," and then they have to switch, and Stacey has to be her girlfriend, right?
Oh, yeah. And that's when
God.
Stacey finally realizes
Yes.
what was missing all along.
Also, this would be awesome because then Brianna and Stacey are talking and Brianna starts like spilling her heart out to Fiona of like, I sabotaged Stacey, but really I've been in love with her this whole time. And then Stacey's like, what the fuck? But also this brings up another thing, which is I also feel like there's this level of like Stacey's married to this man, but she does not love him because she always lies to him when they switch places. Right? Like you could very easily
Oh, yeah, she never tells him.
You could very easily have told your husband, hey, it's me. There were many like private moments between the two of them where she's still pretending she's someone else because she's like, please, I do not want to be
Don't
Stacey
kiss
right
me.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to kiss you. Like,
Yeah.
please get away from me.
And even when she's in there, like she doesn't even go too far. Like she could pretend to be Margaret and be like, no, Stacey loves you so much, Edward. Like she tells me all the time how like you're the one. Like she talks about how in love with you she is. All she gives him is literally, she's like, Edward, everything is going to be all right, I promise. What?
Right.
Ma'am, please.
And you
like
see
that's how
a
that's how
lot.
you're going to comfort your husband.
Right.
It's
I
going
mean,
to be all right, sweetie.
In the original P-Sui, and that's what I'm shortening Princess Switch to. Don't get up. This
We're all
late
on
in the
board.
podcast, I'm giving a nickname. We're doing P-Sui hard launch now. But in the first P-Sui, you see a lot of why Edward loves Stacy, right? And like, granted, I did think that was insane how everyone kept being like, I don't know about this one. What an opinionated woman. And like, really what she was just doing was being like, I have a thought. And everyone's like, you're insane.
Yeah.
And Edward's like, hold on, I've never seen something like this before. But you
Not
never
since
really
grandma.
see... Right. And he's like, and I've always wanted to fuck my grandma. So this works. But you really never see why Stacy likes Edward.
No.
Like one time she just says he looks good in a suit. And you're like, you know what? Who else looks good in a suit? A butch woman,
But
Stacey.
I'm sorry, wanting to fuck grandma's gonna be the point at which I can't with this movie. Oh my god. I'm like, listen, I'll ship all the Vanessa Hudgens together, but
Oh, not Edward
Not
and his
Edward.
own grandma.
Oh,
Don't
God.
don't be courageous. Don't be a coward.
I'm just we've hit the point for me. I'm there. I'm ready. I'm in it. I'm here. P-Sui. Let's do it.
Yeah, just imagine Edward being like, Grandma, I'm stuck under the bed. Grandma,
And
this
we
is
bring it
help me.
all
My
back.
my tushie's just sticking out from under this bed.
Ah, God.
Oh,
Edward's
my
sitting
God.
in the background while Fiona's doing her laser dance, and he's like, that's how I used to look when Grandma spanked me.
Grandma used to make me dance like that.
Oh God.
Anyway, guys, he's like,
And we're back.
Ah, Jesus.
But
Listen,
agreed.
it's
No
apparently at an
chemistry.
hour and a half into our podcast that we lose all control, okay? That's
Yes.
where we're at. Holy God.
But yes, agreed. Do we think that Duchess / Queen Margaret is also queer? What do we think is queer about her? Or do we feel like she's the lone straight in our trio?
No, I think you're absolutely right, Colette. I think she and Kevin have queer energy. I'm here for like
100%.
they're in a gay relationship with each other.
yeah, I think we aren't. Kevin is queer coded from the fucking start, and I think Margaret sees that is attractive. Like, oh God, just imagine the storyline of if Kevin was like, not queer coded and was objectively queer. The idea that like Margaret not only falls in love with a quote unquote commoner, but then also it's like a same sex
Mhm.
relationship, and then you have a lesbian queen.
Yeah. Love
Come
it.
on,
Oh.
Netflix.
Yeah. Well, and because the thing is, listen, you don't even have to look too hard to find the metaphor in a story that's all about, like, I live my whole life closeted in this castle, and I just want to go out and experience life where I get to be my true self for a bit and, like, fall in love with this beautiful lesbian. Yeah, sure. We've all been there, okay? We've all been there, Margaret. Let's be honest.
Well, and also look at the difference between the different dates. Well, they all get brought to like Christmas villages, all of the like set piece dates between one of our V Hudges and one of her paramours. For some reason, they all just go to the same Christmas village. But like Peter takes Fiona via like helicopter, which I'm like, ugh, that's so toxic. But like the way that Kevin and Margaret interacted on their date in P-Sui 2, I was like, I'm just watching like two beautiful women, just two lovely, gentle ladies.
just processing their feelings deeply
And
via...
also
like the
exes,
amount of feelings that are there.
Oh,
like
and
it's a
exes,
lot of
yes.
feelings.
That's what I'm saying. They're getting back with your ex. That is a queer storyline.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
Don't try to lie to me, Netflix. I'm on to you.
Okay, so here's the real question then. Who are we shipping? Who's your gay ship in these movies, Colette? If you had to pick like just one, what's your ship?
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Things have changed and things have evolved for me. Like I entered this Zoom full Katusi. Not Katusi. Well, it could be Katusi. I was calling them Kutches, which is Kay or Kevin and the Duchess.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Which is very close to Katusi. So, but now Fiona and Brianna.
Yeah.
is becoming
Fiona.
Fiona, or just Fiona and everyone, and it becomes a Fiorgi.
Yeah.
That is my ship.
Yes.
I'm going Fiorgi. Fiona fucks everyone in this movie.
I'm totally here for Fiorgi. I don't know if I necessarily ship Stacy with anyone. I just really want her to leave Edward. Like, girl needs to explore her queer identity.
I mean,
it's like, I'm going to say Stacy. I'm shipping Stacy with herself and her own queer identity. This is like a new one for me. But I just want her to be independent and like really finally be able to be herself. That's it. I don't know what her ship name is.
I'm going to go, I ship
the queerest ship of all.
I'm going to say, I'm shipping Fiona and Mindy.
Yeah.
Okay. Fiona and Mindy. Findy.
Oh, Findy.
Findy. I think Findy. And because that opens up the door for me where I do think Fiona shows up with Brianna, but I think it's all a long con because Fiona sees Stacy a mile away, and then I ship Stacy and Brianna together.
Right. It's triangulation.
Yeah. So Fiona's like making moves. She's making things happen, right? Fiona's like, here's my hot girlfriend. Also, I have to be somewhere else, and I need you to pretend to be me, Stacy. Rawr. Okay. and she's gonna make Stacy and Brianna happen, and it's gonna be Diana.
I mean, that Iana just is perfect for a ship name, you know?
Right. Well, I also
use that
like
Iana.
Yeah.
I like Findy because then you could be like, I'm in my Findy bag, and I like Stiana because it reminds me of Stevia, and that's just sweet.
Oh, crushed it.
Perfect.
So that's
put that in my tea.
That's my ship. That's my Princess Switch 4 storyline. Okay.
Excuse me. Do you mean PSV4?
PSV4.
PSV4. Yeah. What's the tagline? What's the subtitle?
Oh, PSV. Oh yeah. Well, okay. We had Romancing the Star. Is this one Romancing the Strap?
Yes.
So this is when they're getting gay. PSV4, Romancing the Strap.
Romancing the Strap. Love it.
PSV4, wife swap.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it.
Incredible. All right, this movie is chaos, and so has this episode in a great way.
Ellie,
think
the
we can all
important thing
agree.
is,
Peeswee should have been gay.
Should have been gay. Had to show.
All right, let's go. We're gonna go into our Q and gay. You ready?
Q and gay.
Here we go. You ready? Question number 1. Who's the gayest of the Doppelhudgens? A. Stacy, B. Margaret, or C. Fiona?
C. Fiona.
Good.
Easy answer.
Yes,
Come on.
easy
Come
answer.
on.
Yeah. Okay. Question 2. Which fictional country would you want to be royalty for? Out of A, Belgravia, B, Montenaro, C, Genovia, or D, Aldovia?
What is Aldovia?
That's where Rose McIver rules in My Christmas
God.
Week.
Truly, I thought y'all were going to be like, D, the Philippines. That's my
famous fictional country, the Philippines. Yes.
Has anyone ever seen it? Okay, well, I mean, my answer in my heart is the Philippines, real country. But I'm between Belgravia or Montenaro. I guess I'm going Montenaro.
Fair.
No real reason.
We do see a lot more of it.
Just feels right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I feel like we got more.
All right, question number 3. What's more romantic? A. Snowball fight, B. Horseback ride, or C. Jewel heist?
Oh, wow. I mean, what's more erotic? Jewel heist, baby.
That laser butt.
That's what I'm saying. Splits on splits. What's more romantic? I love a little snowball fight. I love a little like, oh no, ouchies, I'm hurt. And then we fall into the snow laughing and laughing.
Love it.
Okay, question 4. Who had the worst proposal out of A, Prince Edward, or B, Kevin?
Oh, wow. I mean, we can't go Kevin because Kevin was the queerest proposal of all. So Edward, Edward was weird because his proposal was, if we still love each other a year from now, let's get married.
Also,
and it's like, Edward,
his
my God.
proposal on live television while engaged to another woman. Interesting choice.
That's true.
Edward.
Everyone in that
Interesting
baking
choice.
competition. If I came in third at that baking competition, do you know the uproar I would have let out if I saw that the prince was proposing to the woman who won first?
Yeah.
I'd be like, this was all rigged.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, question number 5. What's your favorite Switch moment? A, hat requirement for tea. B, Stacy giving Edward advice. C,
Oh,
Stacy
yeah.
at the disciplinary committee. Or D, Margaret at Cunard's party.
I mean, obviously, it's Margaret at Kennard's. I was scared that we weren't going to get any like juicy Fiona moments, but it's that tango.
The
It is
tango.
that tango. It's a great one.
Also, cane martinis is not going to be the new Negroni Sbagliato with prosecco in it. Like candy cane martini is not hot drink.
Even with Fiona trying her hardest to make it so, but
Right. Her being like, yes, a candy cane martini. I'm like, are you a 5-year-old who just woke up in an adult body today? Fiona actually has type 2 diabetes. It's really tragic. She shouldn't be drinking those.
No, Fiona. Incredible. Well, on that note, thank you so much.
Oh my God. Sorry, it's a real thing.
No, this was so fun. And just perfect
Chaos.
episode.
Pure
Oh,
chaos of
please.
an episode. I
It
love
was
it.
such a joy.
Listen,
I'm
we
so
could
excited
be
as we
here
went
for
on this
another 2
ride.
hours easily. Like I have so much
And
to
that's
say
the-
about these movies.
That's the only way we would ever make heads or tails of it. We'd even talk about the random magic man. But and
I know.
that's classic.
That's for next
P
time.
Suite. That's P Suite, baby.
P-Sweet. That's P-Sweet for you. So tell all our listeners where they can find you on social media and if you have anything coming up.
Sure. So you can find me, see what I look like, see how much Fiona I be given on a normal day, on Instagram because Twitter is on fire.
Yes.
My handle
Twitter
is
might not
young.
exist by the time
Right, by the
this
time
episode
this comes out, we'll probably all be on Friendster.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Neopets. So catch me back on Neopets. But you can also follow me on Instagram at Young, YUNG, and then Baba Yaga, like the Russian witch, BABAYAGA. And then you can, follow that. You'll see what I'm up to.
Is there
right
a photo
now,
of you in a red dress is what we want to know.
I mean, there will be by the time
Yeah,
this goes
great.
out.
Excellent.
Yeah. Get it?
Get
Get
it.
it ready
Yeah.
for the next
Yeah,
week or so?
I'm getting into my P-Suite cosplay tomorrow.
Amazing.
Of a full shoot. And I'm
Oh
watching.
my God. Wait, can we
like-
all three do a P-Sweet cosplay together for something? I don't even care for
Yes.
Yes.
what. Okay.
At
Yes.
Rom-Com Con.
Yes. Amazing.
Yes. Wait, that's a real thing?
No.
We're going to make
Oh,
it a real
I
thing.
wish.
We're going
So
to
it's a
start a
reference to happy
convention.
endings.
Let's start a convention so that we can cosplay as P-Sweet, the three of us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just Hudge off.
Let's have a Hudge off.
2023.
Can you
Listen,
imagine?
to be fair,
Actually, that would be a great queer event.
This-
You should
I mean,
just
Hudge
host-
off is just Coachella. That is what a
This-
Vanessa Hudgens is.
When I was in college, there's a girl I went to college with who just famously would always she just threw parties, themed parties, right?
Okay, cool.
And we threw a party one year where it was a Britney Spears party and you had to come dressed as a Britney Spears from one of her music videos, and it was
Fun.
freaking great. It was incredible. So we could make this happen is all I'm saying.
So
okay?
we're doing Hudge Off 2023
Hudge off.
at the
Mhm.
next Hot Rabbit in Belgravia. We are doing a Hudge Off.
Meet us there. It'll only take
Hop-
you 2 hours to get there from
hop in
wherever you
your
live. Doesn't
puddle
matter where
jumper
you are.
plane.
It takes 2 hours.
Yeah. me, ow.
Incredible.
I kind of just want to end the episode on the meow personally,
As
but
you should, as
listen.
you
Yeah.
should.
What a blast,
Thank-
Colette. What a blast.
Thank
This
you,
has
y'all.
been-
Such a joy.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from all of you. We love continuing to build this community, and we just like to shout out some of our favorite things every episode. And this week, we want to start by shouting out everybody who sent us or tagged us or posted about us in their Spotify Wrapped. This really is, it's like Christmas every year. It's just the best. It's so much fun to see everyone who's listening to us, and it makes us feel really nice and good inside. That's all.
Pretty amazing. Also, we had some people reach out individually, so we want to shout you out. We want to shout out CJ, who reached out on Instagram and said, I don't listen to many podcasts, but when I do, I listen to Let's Hang Out. Thank you for that. We are so
Amazing.
happy that we are one of the few that you listen to. Makes us feel special.
It does make us feel special. Okay, it's fine. We're fine. We just have feelings. We also, as always, want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons: Mark Foster,
Tanya Ferguson,
Sarah and Julia,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Fiona W.,
and our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Hendley,
Andrea Doucette,
and Julia Gonzalez. Thank you all so much for all your support and for all of our patrons. We absolutely could not keep making this podcast without all of you.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or you can check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
We're also posting videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
Let's Hang Out is an independently produced show. It's hosted by us. Audio production is done by Ellie. Our production assistant is Krista Murison, and various other things are done by me.
If you want to support the podcast, the easiest way to do that is to rate and review us on iTunes. We love hearing what you have to say.
If you want to support us financially, you can join our Patreon. You get access to so many things. You get access to our Discord chat that we have with all of our patrons. You get access to ad-free episodes as well as our bonus Patreon-only episodes. You get access to Les Essentials watch parties, all sorts of cool stuff. You can find that at bit.ly/LesPatreon.
And if you want to get some Let's Hang Out merch, you can get that at bit.ly/LesShop. It is the perfect time to get some holiday gifts for all the gays in your life.
Remember, we also have a queer production company. We're making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings. You can find everywhere at Dollar Bean Prod.
Or you can find it at our website, dollarbeanproductions.com.
And you can listen to all of the episodes of our first show, The Flame. They are available on any podcasting app.
If you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee. And
let's
hang
hang
out
out
again
again
soon.
soon.
Let's hang out.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.